Ocean's 11 is the best heist film ever made. Let me explain. Say you're fresh out the slammer, you need money, and the only job prospects you have involve running back to the very lifestyle that got you locked up to begin with. Oh, and did I mention your wife also ran off with a rich casino owner?
You know what your problem is?
I only have one.
You've met too many people like you. I'm with Terry now.
Yeah. Instant conflict, anyone?
I know everything that's happening in my hotels.
So I should put those towels back.
Now, in a situation like this, there's only one thing you can do really, and that's round up the old crew for a job that promises to be properly epic, high stakes, literally, and of course perfectly stupid enough to get your friends excited about tagging along.
Yeah, well, say we do all that. We're just supposed to walk out of there with $150 million in cash on us without getting stopped?
Yeah.
So, if you're looking to dive into the vault of cinematic treasures that is Ocean's 11, or as I call it, the greatest heist movie ever made, then let's get into it. Ocean's 11 is the 2001 remake of the Rat Pack-led 60s original. That version is a real sleeper, as in I cannot keep my eyes open when I watch it.
So I'll turn that off, will you?
I'll turn it off when I'm ready to turn it off. It's off, it's off.
This film is directed by iconic minimalist filmmaker Steven Soderbergh and stars one of the greatest all-star lineup casts I've ever seen.
Yes, would you like some tickets?
In the film, Danny Ocean has just been released from prison after serving a sentence for high thievery. Once out, he immediately heads to Las Vegas to begin plotting a simultaneous heist job and revenge scheme to spite his ex-wife's new boyfriend, Terry Benedict, played by Andy Garcia.
Who the hell is this?
The man who's robbing you?
The plan is simple: assemble a crew big enough to pull off the job, and then knock off 3 casinos in one night in the most secure public area in the western United States without getting caught, and then make it out of Vegas scot-free and millions of dollars richer. Sounds easy enough, yeah? Well, did I mention that we're also up against a very short clock to pull this off, so the pressure's on.
It's never been done before, so need planning, a large crew.
Danny starts by recruiting the members of his crew that he knows will join him, and for this story, that's Rusty, played by Brad Pitt.
I'm running away with your wife. Great.
Rusty is mostly retired from the life of crime and is now giving poker lessons to celebrities and largely avoiding any real responsibilities. But he does have big hopes, and Danny's offer just may be big enough to get him on board.
A lot of security, but the take. What's the target? 8 figures each. What's the target?
About 1/3 of this film is dedicated to building the team and introducing us to the characters, and in a heist movie, that can be half of the fun if the story is done correctly, like it is in this movie. With every new recruit, we naturally learn a little bit about the characters, where they're from, where they're at, where they want to go, and what they're like.
I think you dig Provo. I think you could do very well there.
I'll look into it.
We get the iconic Bernie Mac as Frank, R.I.P., and Casey Affleck and Scott Caan as the Malloy brothers, Elliot Gould as Ruben, the guy funding the whole operation, and then there's Tan, the grease man.
We got a grease man. We got a grease man.
Basher the bomb tech, and who could forget Carl Reiner as Saul Bloom.
If you ever ask me that question again, Daniel, you will not wake up the following morning.
They want to rip off the Bellagio, the Mirage, and the MGM Grand, all in one night at an event that will see these 3 casinos potentially paying out high-stakes gamblers. We're talking buku bucks. All the money will be stored in one vault with 360-degree security detail. Ocean and his team need to spread out and establish a way in, through the vault and out of the vault, and then back out of the casino and Vegas before anybody can figure out what happened. Of course, in true heist film fashion, we're in for a twist element to the job that layers the entire thing, and not to mention the heist itself, which is plagued with failures and the need to adapt.
And for God's sake, whatever you do, don't, under any circumstance.
Russ,
Yeah,
can you take a look at this?
sure.
Capturing the excitement of a heist can also be tricky. While films like Heat can be considered among the greatest in the genre, the movie is aided by the addition of incredible action scenes that this film doesn't have, although it's not without its explosions.
Hang on to your knickers.
Instead, Soderbergh shows us the exciting world of white-collar crime with his quick editing techniques, kinetic camera movement, and retro cinematic language that harkens back to the thrillers and adventure films of the 60s. It's visually inspiring and holds a very special place in the heart of my inner filmmaker. The slick directing is also complemented very well by the equally sharp performances from the cast. Clooney acts as the perfect, charming leading man with suave dialogue, a winning smile, and enough mojo to put Austin Powers to shame.
I have his mojo.
Pitt and Clooney have an amazing on-screen chemistry that feels unmatched by any of the co-stars that have shared the screen with either actor.
Why do they always paint hallways that color?
They say taupe is very soothing.
The way the two have this balance of boss and employee and brothers and mentor and Padawan or whatever, it seems like these two really understood the importance of the core relationship between Danny and Rusty, and it works.
This is not your call.
Oh, you made it my call. When you put her before us, you made it mine.
This is my job.
On his own, Rusty is a bit of a young playboy type, and he's also incredibly skilled at what he does, and a wonderful character for us to get attached to. The scene where Rusty pretends to be an FBI agent to abduct Basher from a crime scene during an arrest is a great moment to showcase how slick and swift these guys are.
It's terrific. It'll be nice working with proper villains again.
Also, while we're on the topic, I love Don Cheadle. Alright, I adore Don Cheadle. But the British accent was a bit much, no?
Oh, leave it out.
I also love the individual moments where the crew is working on their own angles and we see the difference between how people shine in different ways. Frank gets what he wants by intimidation, Linus plays the awkward angle and strikes without you noticing, Danny plays the confident, walk in like I own the place thing, and everyone else mostly just creates a scene.
You got in my way! I was trying to deliver my balloons!
Gentlemen!
He's the balloon boy!
So, knowing what we know, what qualifies this as the best heist movie? Well, at the time of its release, it had every single element that we as an audience look forward to in a good old-fashioned Hollywood blockbuster. This was an exciting film for the time, and if you notice the few great heist films since this one, they almost all got at least some inspiration from this one. It takes the concept just serious enough to sell it, but is also self-aware and irreverent enough to make the reality seem a little heightened. Like off the top of my head, as an example, we're able to kind of believe that Danny and his crew can build a one-to-one replica of the Bellagio vault and stage it so that it perfectly matches the feed on the security cameras. I mean, I did say heightened reality, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the twist too much here, but all great heist movies need some sort of double cross or surprise third element to it that shocks audiences along with the characters. It helps keep the payoff nice and satisfying. This film does not disappoint with audiences thinking one thing and then by the end being relieved by a twist that reveals that everything went exactly according to plan. Honestly, it's still satisfying to this day. And it's what, like 25 years later? Holy shit.
What happened to all that money?
At the end of the day, Ocean's 11 uses stylized editing and cinematography to bring us into the excitement of a larger-than-life mission that we all fantasize about. And it does so with incredible performances, witty dialogue, interesting characters, high stakes, and of course, a good time at the movies.
I knew what I was doing.
Also, I'm fully aware that it is a completely polarizing statement to make, so if it's not your favorite heist movie, don't get too excited, just leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite heist movie is. And we can still be friends, I promise. Well guys, if you like this video and want to support the show, please do drop a like on it and share it with your friends who like this sort of content. Also, let me know if you would be interested in seeing coverage on Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13 so that we can get the full trilogy on our hands. Could be fun.
Okay. You're free to go.